like thousands of others across the country. It's a place to go if you want to be seen, and to a lot of folks, it's the information center of the neighborhood.
Give everybody the strength and ability to do what they do best, and that's make people laugh.
Everybody want to be famous! Nobody want to put the work in. Our job is to spark somebody else watching us. We might not be the ones, but let's not be selfish.
All right, so look, no, brother Pongo is in the building today, man.
I like that, Brother Pongo.
We have been talking about this for easy 2 years.
Yeah, literally.
Easy, right? And it's important to me, man, that we highlight our tastemakers, our movers, our shakers, our influencers, and you are one of those people. And I knew that out the gate, and I said, all right, me and his brother, we're going to talk, we're going to sit down.
That's right.
And true of his word, he's here today.
Yeah.
And we with the shits.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a good vibe today, too. I needed this, man. Thank y'all for having me, by the way. I'm going to use what you said in the intro. I love what you said, too. You know, AMON. Say it however you want. Just spell it right.
That's it.
He will correct you, though.
That's it.
It's not how you say my name.
How do you... See, I was making all that.
Amon. It's a short A.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
See, you know, I like that.
Go.
Yeah.
But it feels good to be here. And I love the show. I've been seeing the clips for as long as since we met.
Yeah.
Been looking at the clips. He sent it to me now. He sent me a full episode. He said, watch this full episode when you coming. And it's good to be here, man. It's always good, especially a platform at the crib that's platforming folks from the crib and elevating us. You know what I mean?
He will publicly shame you, too. Come to the crib and don't pull up.
Yeah. Look, come on.
Yeah.
He got a reel for you.
Oh,
he got no problem tagging the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Pause.
You got the whole motherfuckers accountable out here.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Like, real shit. Like,
if we don't build our platforms, who will, though? We'll go somewhere else and make that the thing. And it's like, no, we need to make the crib the thing, but don't come back on the way down.
on the real. I'm cool on you, fam. I'm cool on you.
I'm
you know
cool on you then. Nah, let's support everybody.
Oh, when you start to fizzle out and you need a little bit of, I feel you.
Yeah.
But I asked you before the cameras roll, you meet a lot of people. And I'm quite sure you have to discern like who's real, who's fake. Mm-hmm. Right? So how do you know that somebody is like on point with who they present themselves to be and who those are you like, yeah, nah, you definitely a bullshitter.
And before you answer that, right, to add to that, like I want to give some context of who you are.
Okay.
Right,
because people don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to them until they see it. But if they're hearing it, like, who the fuck is dude, right? So,
that's what I'm talking about.
All right, so we'll just make it very simple. We'll go from WVON all the way to MTV for every red carpet. You've seen them on TV. Most recently, we're gonna get into the podcast with the Candyman shit, which is crazy. Love that. Shit, fucking hit the Google. All right,
I'm talking like from radio to television to YouTube to podcasts in written form. You've covered, just media across the board.
Created your own space.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Man, thank you for
made writing cool.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely.
Made reading cool, in my opinion, because we definitely need that. So
come on, yeah. Hosted the pre-show for the VMAs most recently.
Nice.
I hosted an art competition series on Smithsonian Channel. Did some features on VH1, BET, American Black, working with CBS News right now. And like you said, you bump into a lot of people and it takes a lot of discernment quick to build some relationships. And, in this industry, when you find somebody that feels like your tribe, whether you've known them for 2 days or 2 years, you can tell,
Yeah.
So like off rip, you clean the people who that feel genuine because it's the word of a lot of ingenuine people. So, I don't know. How do I discern that? They're normal markers, right? Somebody can't look you in your eye when you shake their hand or look you in the eye when y'all taking a shot or get a drink or something like that. Or, if they say they're going to do something and they don't come through and they don't even give you an explanation or something like that. Like just really small base level human
right.
things.
Chicago shit. I call it Chicago shit.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like, period.
Just regular Chicago shit. I remember I bumped into somebody and, I was telling my lady, like, I don't like that guy. Wow, I ain't like how he shook my hand. And she's like, what? It was a whole thing. Later on, he ended up being flawed. And I was like, I told you, but she thought I was being, overly stringent. But that's a big
stringent.
That's a big rule for me.
Yeah, you get 6 for that one.
Yeah. Listen, So yeah, I think it's those normal things. And then even on the red carpet, when you meet celebrities, that moment that you have before the interview, just like how we chopped it up before the interview, those moments tell you a lot about people, So, you can just feel it. You can feel the genuine spirit, you can feel it.
Yeah, for all you fake people out there.
So it's also important, right? Because you're from Chicago, South Side.
Yes, sir.
which is trash.
Oh,
You
no.
know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Even
yeah.
with and Cal City, people don't be repping the burbs
South
enough
South
too.
suburbs.
South suburbs
yeah.
as well.
Shout out to the South suburbs.
Yes, sir.
Y'all can have it.
Have you even ever rode through Calumet City?
I don't go past Hyde Park. You understand that?
You been to Riv Oaks.
Dang.
I have.
You ain't gonna claim it.
Like
That's-
my grandma used to stay out in Riv Oaks. It was crazy. High school was
TF North.
TF North.
Mhm.
Did you hoop, basketball, football,
I
anything?
rapped. That was it.
I know. I now see that's another conversation.
Oh man, put on a beat, but you got to put on one of your beats.
You want the
and see-
bars?
Oh, I'm trash now. I'm trash.
Oh, I
Don't
mean,
do
but you know, it'll be peer versus peer.
Okay. Oh,
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I want a freestyle battle right now.
Oh,
Of mine. But
on the Corner
yes,
Convo?
yes, on the corner. I want to see what do people have today? No pre-written.
you know,
raps.
this what people don't know though. Rapping is like athletics. You got to stretch.
Yeah, you know.
You got to stretch for. You
call
got to,
it-
you know.
Nobody's watching.
You got to. It's only a couple thousand people.
It's we're just recording right.
Only
We
a
can fix
couple
it in
tens of
post.
thousands of people watching.
All right.
Let's
I got one for you. Fuck
You doing a beat now?
I got one for you. Fuck
We
you.
ain't gonna warm up or nothing.
Nope. This is the warm up.
We'll go here, right? Just we'll see if you still trained, if you still got it.
It's too slow. I don't like this beat.
Are you okay? You want to speed
a
up?
little
okay.
fat,
Okay.
like-
Oh, when he said he don't like the beat now, he
Yeah.
don't get jumped on. All of these are his.
It's okay.
He makes these on the toilet.
Gotcha.
That's why they booty.
You know, we gonna see what's going on out here, man.
Hold on. Let me drop.
Okay, this one all right.
Okay. Okay.
Something slight, you know what I mean? Nothing heavy.
Let me hear another one.
Okay, all right. Let's see.
I like that one though. I like that one.
Oh, let's see. All right, let's see if we do.
It's nice too. These are yours for real? It's nice too.
Don't let his witty banter knock you off and get him out of a bar or two. And where your bar at?
I'm just waiting for him to find
Oh,
whatever,
you know what?
whatever it is, right?
Because I actually wanted to kill that shit.
All right. I'll let it go. Oh God,
It's one of my favorites right
this
now.
is definitely his favorite.
Okay. What's the sample?
Guitars.
Okay. Yeah.
Stock
That's
guitars.
it.
That's it.
That's it.
This is part right here.
Okay.
We will not get flagged on any.
None of that. None of that. You know what I'm
We
saying?
can let this
All
ride.
royalty free.
All right, we'll get back to it. It's not a
Oh my
problem.
God.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
If you want to buy a beat from Amon, cash
No,
out
so
Mila
so,
Love Mars.
so these no, you send it right to you, right? Nah, man, I just do that shit, man, for the TikToks and you know what I mean,
I love
like
that.
monetizing is important. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
with MON. Look at you.
Yeah. But anyway, man.
But
all
yeah,
right.
no, in high school, that was it. I was the guy who, people were at my locker, beatboxing. I was
Word?
selling CDs. Like it was.
You were
the
that
thing.
guy.
It was the thing. Like you would come to my locker, and that's where the ciphers was happening. And I was, I sold CDs out the Riv Oaks Mall and pressed them up, and I was really on that for a period of time. But I never got the opportunity to really, really push it. But now I ended up in something adjacent in the arts, and I really feel like that was just preparing me for what it is to be a journalist. That's
Oh,
what
my
rappers are,
goodness.
journalists, really, in a different way.
I can see that.
So we had this conversation earlier, right?
Yeah.
Are podcasters journalists?
No,
That was fast.
but a journalist can be a podcaster.
There we go.
Yeah, but every podcaster is not a journalist.
But isn't journalism giving information?
Yeah, but there are tenets of journalism, right? So it's adhering to the truth, right? So it has to be verifiable fact that you're giving out. Your methods have to be objective. And for culture podcasts, we're talking about subjective things sometimes, giving an opinion about music, etc. And with podcasting, sometimes people want a certain guest and they might not be truthful in how they report on certain situations because they don't want to disrespect a guest. And that's not objective journalism.
Right.
Because you're trying to protect relationships. And so I think that's what makes, I think there are podcasters who aren't journalists who do journalistic work,
Okay.
right? Like there are people, there's even citizen journalism, right? Like the young woman who recorded, not to go into a dark place, but the young woman who recorded George Floyd being killed,
Right.
she was a citizen journalist. You know, the only difference between her video and one that CNN posted was the fact there wasn't a CNN logo and a big camera that did it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's work that us as citizens do that can be categorized as journalism, but I don't think all podcasts, I'm not going to say academics as a journalist, no.
Do you count podcasts as Black media?
Well, yeah.
Like when you think about like Black media, like and where we fit and where we fall, do you think that we should have a more balanced kind of ecosystem of conversations in the Black community? Like, do you think it's imbalanced right now?
Very much so imbalanced.
In what way?
I think that, and I think some of this is because we are algorithm focused, and people blame the algorithm, but we are the algorithm, right? We are the reason that certain things go viral. We as human nature, we tend to share what makes us upset more than we share what makes us happy. Mm. So if somebody has a crazy take, that is the thing that's going to go. And so you see all these podcasts about relationships cropping up.
I hate that shit.
It's so irritating. But it reveals something about us, right?
Yeah.
There's something incongruent about male-female relationships in the Black community right now. You know, and it's a whole lot of unpacking to do as to why and what's going on. But apparently there's an interest for it. And so I think we need to recalibrate and talk about so many other aspects of the human experience we missing because we stuck on 50-50 and $200 dates and
that's
all
the
broke
hard
ass
part.
out of here.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
For somebody that focuses on the environment and water specifically, looking at like what's happening in the world and knowing that I'm in competition for people's attention with the algorithm and conversations on relationships is hard. Like, especially when something happens, like all these hurricanes and people missing water and food crisis. And it's like, it's an election season. And it's a lot that we need to kind of be focused on, but you don't want to take it down a dark path. But it would be nice to see more balanced conversations because we got these degrees that look like we should use them a little bit to level some stuff up.
I'm telling you.
Well, how do you go from the South Side of Chicago, Beasley,
Don't
South
disrespect
suburbs,
Calumet City, right about that.
right? You know what I mean? South suburbs, all the way to MTV. Like, what is that journey? How do you get there? What was the struggles, if any at all? Because it seemed like it was a very easy transition from the outside looking in.
Oh man,
from the outside looking in.
The hardest thing to do is to make it look easy. So you saying that means a lot because I feel like you magnify whatever you magnify, you amplify. Whatever
I like magnify.
Magnify. I like that. We're gonna go.
Yeah,
with
we
that.
make up words down here.
For sure.
Yeah. Whatever you magnify, you amplify. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you put your attention on, that's what. So I never broadcast struggle. Or if I go, we're talking off camera about a job I auditioned for, and they were saying the show came out, and I was like, oh, maybe I didn't get that job. I didn't realize the show came out. I didn't get a call back. But I'm not going online posting, I ain't get that job today. Right. Transition, I'm Ghanaian. My parents came here from Ghana in the 70s. They were hard working class family. Grew up over east on 69th and Stony. Some people call
what up, gang?
Yeah, and went to Beasley and raised in part by my two sisters. I was a latchkey kid.
You was probably up at the Y too.
Yeah, right up the street, on Stony, all of that. Yeah, so I in the household that I came from, the arts or journalism, these things aren't real careers. It's like, are you a doctor, a lawyer, engineer? Right. Are you gonna go to school? What are you studying? Those were the things that was focused on. And then you just got the inputs of the area that you grow up in. You know what I'm saying? So, you're as strong as your household, but they can't safeguard when you go outside and the fights that you get into or who you hang with and the crowd that you might end up with. So I had some of those challenges as well. And it actually got worse when I got to Cal City, ironically, when we moved to the suburbs. But, fast forwarding through life, I ended up working in corporate America for a year, got depressed, hated it, quit my job, moved back home without a plan, interned at WVON, radio station on the south side of Chicago, became a news anchor there, and then found out that MTV was scouting for this job to host a true crime documentary and docuseries. And at the time, I didn't know what the docuseries was. A friend of mine called me and said, yo, MTV is scouting for this job. I'm like, man, people from the crib, everybody always got a connection at some place.
Cynical.
Yeah,
right.
I was very cynical. And at that time, which I don't share often, I'd applied for 3 media jobs and hadn't gotten any of them. Mm-hmm. Like, I was like, I must just I must just be
Are
trash.
you? Do you have formal media training? Because I feel like that's another part that many people they don't try because they feel like, oh, you have to have a degree in it.
No.
Like no formal.
I got a degree in economics.
Okay.
And then later on, I went to the Illinois Center for Broadcast, and it's now called the Illinois Media School. It was like a 1-year vocational radio and TV programming.
I love that program.
So that was training. But I was doing that concurrently while I was working at WVON. Like I was in this broadcasting school for a couple months before I started interning at this radio station. And so I learned on the fly. And I learned journalism through folks like Perry Small and Melody Smith.
And she's retiring.
And she's retiring soon.
Yeah,
Like,
she's retiring.
so I literally learned it in Kathy Chaney and mentors. And I would be on these panels at these different conferences. And I might be a panelist, but I was sitting there learning as I was sharing the little bit that I knew. So I learned in the field. So you're absolutely right.
And this is when VON was right next door to the rink. Right?
Yeah, when it was on 87.
Yep. And I had so they gave me one of Dr. Carol Adams' Saturdays, and they fired me. Oh, it was horrible.
They fired you?
Tell them why.
Okay, all right.
Tell
So
them why.
they
She deserved to be fired?
No.
Kind of.
No,
kind of.
So they were like, we want more millennials to listen to the radio, right? And I was like, oh, great. Like, I produced this show. And they were like, well, what's the show? I was like, it's called Greening Your Sex Life. You're done. You're done. I was like, damn. And so I actually just got back on last year just with a segment focused on climate and culture. And shout out to Atiba, who has the afternoon drive. And it's so important to like come back, but with a clearer mind of the type of conversations that need to be produced for where we are and then who I am, because it is that important for our voices across a diversity of issues. So every Wednesday, 5:30, WVON, 1690 AM. On iHeartRadio.
Oh, that just gave me flashback. Yeah. But no,
the drop.
I'm telling you, but you're right. I mean, I feel like in WVON, for context for folks, y'all got a national audience, like WVON is a place that's like it's a political talk. It's about Black empowerment. So it's a masterclass. And I'm a news anchor there. So like you're learning and you're interacting with Al Sharpton popping through, and then Jesse Jackson's popping through, and you name it.
The mayor,
Ben Crump,
yep.
Whatever mayor at the time, all 5 mayoral candidates back when Ron was running came through. So you're being a part of these conversations, and the listeners will hold you accountable. They'll call you in and tell you if a fact is right or wrong, and so that's why I cut my teeth. But going back to how I ended up in MTV, the person called me and they said they're going for this job. I was super cynical because I'd applied for 3 jobs in the city for WBEZ here, the NPR affiliate. Applied for 2 other gigs.
Salty right now.
They doing great. They're doing great. They're there. I'm sure they're not salty. They're doing great. But I was salty at the time for sure. And I was just like, maybe this ain't in the cards for me. And then ended up coming together to make a long story super short.
You would have had Vocalo turned out.
Oh man, I would have loved being at Vocalo.
They wouldn't just be digital right now. Right.
Yeah.
That's actually dope. And we were talking before you got here, like, what does it take when you let's get into the Candyman podcast, right?
Okay.
Are you writing everything or is it a team with you?
It's a team.
Okay.
It's a team. So when we work on multiple projects, you can't physically always be the one doing everything from nuts to bolts. But I co-executive produce the podcast. And so I executive produce it with a team over at this company called Neon Hum with Sony Music. And, they'll write the show, but they'll input like placeholders for your personal story. And so they'll put like, Dometi shares personal story here about X. And then they'll go through and then I'll go back and give them context. Hey, we don't really say, we call it 26 in California. You might want to write in the script this way. You can't talk about race without talking about this. You can't do this show without talking to, if you're talking about Chicago urban history, we got to have Dilla on the show. We got to have, it's in Cabrini Green. Okay, Kim Fox, Cook County State's attorney. She's got to be on. So, I was really involved. Even the beat. It's funny, as you brought up the beats earlier, the composer on the show, I beatboxed the theme music for the show. I was like, this is how it should sound. So, I was really involved with everything from the...
Wait, you beatboxed what the soundscape should be for Candyman?
For the Candyman series.
Gotta do it.
He had the, he gave the bed, and I was like, it's missing something. She, I was like, that's what it's missing. He was like, okay. So he put that in there, and then, we're going, his name is Cedric Wilson, by the way, super dope composer. But all of those things are in it. But I work with a team because you need those other eyes and ears, and you need somebody who can sit with the work and write it all the way through and communicate with the network before it gets to you, because there's a lot of back and forth with legal, with fact checking, with standards and procedures to make sure everything is, and that's the journalistic integrity that we're talking about. You know, the difference between a podcast that's not news-based and one that is the amount of red tape you got to go through before you put it out there to make sure you don't end up with a lawsuit for the type of things that you put out there, you know?
Well, see, my question is then, yes, super fact check everything, love that, right? Let's tell the story the right way. But at the same time, I don't want to give up my intellectual property, and I want to explain the story the way I want
Absolutely.
to, right?
Yes.
Can I still keep my sauce on that and it still go up the ladder as far as it needs to go?
Right.
And if it comes back down to me, I'm like, nah, did you scrap it as a producer, as the voice of the show? Or are you like, I guess I'll bend on this one?
You know what's great about this series in particular? And I love this question because I think as Black content creators who end up navigating mainstream spaces, sometimes we self-edit. Sometimes we'll be the ones trying to fit within their ecosystem. So this podcast, Candyman, the true story behind the bathroom mirror murder, is produced by 48 Hours from CBS. So you know the 48 Hours show, the true crime, been running for as long as you can imagine. And the other hosts are traditional news anchors. So, you know, they'll deliver a story. They'll use, you know, the man attempted to do X. Right. And so I'll read the script, and then Megan Marcus, who's the VP of the Paramount Audio, is like, yo, she called me like, yo, bring more, you know, you can just do it how you do it. You know, so it's actually the inverse. And I'm like, you know, because there's a performance to news presenting, and there's, you know, the natural way that you speak. Mm-hmm. And then they'll tell you when to dial it back, not because they're trying to, you know, take the you away from you. It's because our listeners might not know what a trap house is. So, you know, like it's a trap house in the story. And I'm like, that's how I would describe it. So I was like, should we change it? Or it was like trap house, a place where, you know, drug dealers hang out, you know? So like those things.
There's some level setting for the audience that isn't the aware of like who you are and the content of the actual production.
Exactly. And so to your point, you know, I think I err on the side of doing as much as I can to bring all of myself to the project. And
let them like, hey,
dial it. You know, because I went from WVON to WGN, and those are two totally different sounds and voices, you know?
I mean, because when you look at the show like The Chi, right? Mm-hmm. Love The Chi, but there are components of Chicago that's not in the show. Like, they don't say Joe.
Yeah.
They don't.
But see, that's older now, though. But if you see... But that's
what do you mean? The language is outdated.
It's not used at all.
As much. But if you listen to Jason Weaver, that's why I love that they got like
he'll
throw in G in there. You'll hear a couple. Joe, like I'm like, hold on, that wasn't in the script. But yeah, you're right though. Some of those things end up missing, and what ends up happening is sometimes you know you got scripts that go up to executives and stuff, and they'll read it and they may not understand something, and it takes somebody to be the buffer to go and say, wait a minute, we have to keep that in.
So speaking of like fact checking and kind of authenticity, is there, and I know like comedians like punch up scripts, right? To make it a little funnier. When there's like these place-based podcasts, is there somebody like a Dilla that will be invited as a consultant? Like, hey, is this tone right? Is the culture of the script right? Or are we dressing people right? Is there like, and what is that person called?
Oh, that happens a lot. Yeah, but it'll be a consultant.
Yeah, I need a check. You know what I mean? Like, I am Chicago. We are Chicago.
I want people to know this too, because it's a lot of people who sometimes, you know, might just be happy to be on the set, but won't advocate for themselves to get that credit as the consultant. Perfect example of somebody who did do it the right way is Judas and the Black Messiah. Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. made sure that he was a consultant on the show, but not only that, he was on set every single day that they shot and was working with the actor to make sure that he got everything, Daniel Kaluuya, to make sure he got everything right, you know, with the character. And, you know, they said it was difficult at times because he was arguing about the minutia of scenes and how things would go.
Minutia? That's a 10.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't have to worry.
Yeah, we on that.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, but that's actually a job, but sometimes you got sets that kind of will take advantage of folks and be like, oh, just show us around, and the person will be like, yeah, I got to ride around and do XYZ and got a day rate of $500. Cut the check. No, you are a consultant. You are a consulting producer, and you can get a check for that. Actually, one of the earlier contracts I got with MTV was a consulting producer contract for doing just that with True Life Crime before it became the actual series that it became.
Now at MTV, how much do you have to fight for certain interviews or to be in certain places? Because you're not the only correspondent over there, right? So how do you even get picked to go somewhere?
Well, I mean, the talent speaks for itself.
Talk that shit in.
I like that.
Talk that shit.
If it's in my wheelhouse, it shall come.
You have right of first refusal. I see.
That's right. But I'm the main guy at MTV digital, especially for music, especially digital, and when it comes to music. So I got a dope colleague by the name of Josh, who does Josh Horowitz, who does the movies and content. But if it's MTV and it's digital, it's gonna be me. Ain't really nobody else. On network, we got a couple of other anchors that do things on network. But like I said, I hosted the pre-show for the VMAs for the past 2 years, and so I think that was just because there are a lot of relationships that happen too off mic. Sometimes as we talk about scripting, sometimes in that scripting process, you got people watching you and hearing your thoughts. And even if something doesn't get in the script, they're like, yo, I like the way he's thinking through these questions or what the passion he has for it. So sometimes you might have someone that say hard work beats talent when talent don't work hard. So you might have somebody there might be somebody more talented or more this, more that.
They ain't got the sauce.
It's all those
so
things.
Are you this generation's Sway? And do you need a Heather B?
Do I need a Damn! Come on
shoot my shot.
Yeah, you know what? Get your ass out of here now.
I'm sorry.
Now.
It was just a question.
No, I can appreciate the thirst. Okay, I get it.
With it. Come on,
I get it.
We will sponsor the BBL for the.
Yeah.
I'm not laughing at that.
Yeah, we here. We here.
I ain't like that.
Because we was on fair. Remember, we was talking about it on fair. It was the inside joke.
That's fine. Everyone knows.
She went to Turkey. Did she tell y'all she went to?
That's what
I was supposed to say that?
I need my money back.
All of it.
No, you can't replace Sway. I can't be this generation Sway. I think it's.
But you know what I mean? Like, but in the public eye, doing all of these things with media, there's music, there's journalism. Like, I realize like Sway is just older, so like this generation's Sway. That's what I mean.
I receive it with the utmost. I really appreciate it, but I thought about it and I was like, man, the downside of it is I don't think because there's not appointment television anymore.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it'll ever be that era where I remember I was listening to this, speaking of WBZ earlier, they had a podcast called Made, and they have an episode called Making Oprah. And Oprah was just breaking down her career. It's a dope series. I don't know why I'm promoting the podcast. I had nothing to do with it, but I just love it. But she was like, there will never be another show like this because there's not this time where the whole country, all of these women are sitting and watching daytime television at this time. Yeah. And so I think in a similar way with MTV, all of us with TikTok, all of us have our own platforms and channels. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's not, the kinship is there and the lineage is there, but I don't know if it'll ever be that. And that's
well. What's the next move after MTV? Like, are we doing TV? Are we building the media company? Bigger, better? Like, what's next for you?
Yeah, so I got a company called Pongo Strategy Group. So we do consulting and media consulting. And the main thing is executive producing projects, getting stories out there. I'm co-executive producing the Leaders 1354 documentary.
Oh, with Josh.
Yes.
That's the homie. That's the homie.
Of course.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
That's like my bestie right now.
That's dope.
And I mean, like,
good people.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's such an inspiration. Even though he's younger than me, I realize, like, as a Chicagoan, especially as a woman, you need folks in multiple generations. You definitely need Black men in this city, especially in the media space, in any space. So it's super cool to know him.
I can't wait for it to come out.
Right? Me either.
That story needs to be told. Like, I go all the way back to Tony's, right? Tony was my man. And from Tony Sports, right? So when you go from Tony's, then you go to Vail, right? Then Vail starts Success with him and Bobby, right? So like I've been there the whole time, right? So I've seen everybody break off from Tony's and start their own brand.
He trying to get in the script. That's
I
what
was
that
going to say, I'm hearing consultant producer right now.
Yeah.
I'm hearing
no, this is real shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so Mofos was outside, right?
Yeah.
And it's crazy that I'm glad that we started this and, you know, people want to come and sit down with us, but I ain't with that shit. Everybody can't come here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
If you don't add to the culture,
That's right.
what are we talking about?
That's
You know
right.
what I mean? Like fall in love with our host. You know what I'm saying? And the stories that we talk about, you know, the Brandon Johnsons, when my man Parquet was the first motherfucker to do a strip club inside the United Center.
That was crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Right?
And the sweets.
And it's sweet. You know
Shout
what I'm
out to
saying?
Parquet. That's
You know what I mean?
another good guy, man.
Shit like that. And, you know, it happens here, right?
Yeah.
So that's the space that I love.
Yes.
You know
yes.
what I'm saying? And I love, it ain't been nothing I've seen you do. I feel like you are spot on with what you do. And I feel like it's very intentional, you know, because I've been around all these celebrities and some of these motherfuckers are goofies. You know what I'm saying? And shit, you can walk on by, fam. I ain't, you know what I mean? Like your energy doesn't match mine.
That's a fact.
I don't need these clicks. We can move on, right? And all of the work that I've seen from you is necessary.
Thank you.
It is intentional and it's important. And I don't think a lot of people understand what you do. Like real shit.
That really means a lot. That's why I love this play. That really means a lot to me, bro. And when you talk about like what the future plans are, that's it. Just elevating creatives, elevating projects that mean a lot to me, and starting from ground zero. You know, I'm doing things to elevate Chicago stories. I'm working on some things for some Ghana stories. You know, going back home.
Dope. Dope.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans? So I don't want to act like
I thought you was gonna go to the game, but go ahead though.
Oh, well, no. I guess I'm thinking like, so Vic Mensa,
Yeah.
right, is Ghanaian. He has this huge couple of different initiatives. Him and his dad are bringing water to certain villages, but then he has like this huge concert.
Yeah.
So I feel like Black folks, we think that everybody's Black, but we aren't. Like people are from different countries. Do you find yourself in these spaces of collaborating with, you know, Chicagoans here that are also Ghanaian and creating projects that like kind of blend urban Chicago with Ghana?
Absolutely.
I want to know about some things that are coming up in those spaces.
Even before, back in 2016, WVON used to have this program where they would bring in like listeners to different parts of the world where the African diaspora was. So they'll take folks to Brazil, Cuba, where Africans were, and then they planned this Ghana trip. And I was a new news anchor at the time, and they were like, yo, let's promote this trip. Let's see if you can put it together, and maybe we'll get 10 people. So in 2016, I took a group of 25 people, ended up going with me.
Oh, wow.
To Ghana on that first
You
trip.
took people to Ghana.
I took people to Ghana. I was doing that even before people with larger platforms had started doing it.
Wow.
And that was before the 1619 project.
Well, you got my number now.
Right,
Right. I want to go to Ghana.
you know? So yeah, we took 100
I want to hang out in Accra.
Yeah, and now you see it's happening.
It's popping, yeah. Everybody want to go to Accra.
It's there. Everybody going to Accra. So it's like this ecosystem. So, you know, more recently, was it 2 years ago? Me, Vic, and Chance have been talking about connecting about, you know, I supported what they did with the Black Star Line Fest. And
that was dope.
That was an amazing concert.
Yes, I interviewed Chance and them backstage, but I haven't had a chance to really put something concrete together with Vic. But yeah, they're doing great work. And it is so dope because we need this ecosystem of Black folks knowing that you have a home there and that there's a world for you back and forth. And we are the global majority. We shouldn't even be calling ourselves minority. We're the global majority here.
That's true.
You know?
That's very true. So I do know like Nigerians call themselves Shigerians, right? And so like do Ghanaians have like a Chicago like
I wish
name?
it was that catchy. We don't got it's just, damn Nigerians. They got it.
They got it. It is a pretty. I was like, I do know with a Shigerian. So there is no God. Because how would you even say it?
Nah, man.
Can't even try.
We just go Ghana.
Shiganians? That don't sound right.
Ghanaians. I like Ghana.
You just got. Y'all ever been to the Ghana Fest in Chicago?
I didn't know there was a Ghana Fest.
See, it used to be the Ghana Fest was like my family reunion. Like the Ghana Fest in Washington Park most years. Haven't been in the past few years. I actually should partner with them. You talk about initiatives. That'd be something that I should actually look
I
to
know
for
we have
next
the
year.
Bantu Fest, right?
Yeah,
And
we got the Caribbean Fest.
I didn't know that there was
African
like a
Fest.
Fela Kuti Fest. I was like, what the we throw a
Ghana
Fela
Fest
Festival downtown? That's wild.
in the 90s and early 2000s, that was like everything. So we talk about that community, and the Ghanaian community is strong here in Chicago.
Yeah.
Strong,
All right.
strong.
So speaking of Ghana, apparently
Okay.
there's a website that says these 20 words will have you sounding like a Ghanaian.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna see if Aman can pick up on what on if he can actually guess what these words mean.
Ooh.
And I guess you can verify if you know.
Oh, I don't speak well enough. Hopefully I can.
Well, like it's some slang.
Well, I'm about to come up with all kind of bullshit with whatever words I hear. So, you know what I mean?
He's gonna offend every Chicago
to
Ghanaian.
my people in Ghana, you know what I mean? Because we do reach that far.
To my people in
Do
Ghana.
not hold me accountable, okay?
Okay, here we go.
It's just jokes.
Okay.
That's it. That's all I got.
All right. I think everybody knows this word.
It came up?
Yeah, it came up.
Okay.
A beg. A-B-E-G. A beg.
Shit. I'm trying to get a bag. You know?
It's not what it means. It means
I mean, like, please, I beg.
I beg. Yeah,
Oh, it's literally bag. Okay.
Yeah, it's
You
like,
gotta do the hand like
yeah, you gotta do it.
Okay. All right, next.
All right. Let's see. Flash. What does it mean? What do you think flash means?
I'm exposing myself by here. What do you mean?
Flash, I don't know Flash. I don't know that
Okay,
one.
flash is a term that refers to those who are known for being frugal with the minutes on their phone. I will flash you means you are going to
yeah,
see
I'll
a
flash-
beep on your phone
So
and my
what
name
hap-
will pop up.
Oh yeah, I'll cut you out. I got excited because I'm like, oh yeah, I do know
I do
this.
know what that means.
I'll flash. So most people in Ghana got two phones, So
See?
if somebody calls you, so you can save your minutes, they'll flash you. They'll call you quick and hang up so that you call them back, so that you won't be using your
I ain't
minutes.
got no minutes.
So I'm gonna flash you.
Shout out to Q Billa. Okay, got it. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's weird. I
man.
like it.
So they'll call you real quick and then be like, yo, just call me. Oh, yeah. And then eat up your minutes and talk to you all day.
Okay. All right.
People still got minutes though?
Well, it's the MTN phones. It's like it's different services. It's like different
Here
data
I am,
plans
like,
and all that.
I'm so privileged with my unlimited
Right. Different data plan phone. So usually it's like you might have you got like a trap phone and like a flip phone, and then you have like a smartphone.
So you go to
iPhone.
Ghana, how many phones you got in your pocket?
I'm definitely doing 2 or 3 phones.
2 or 3 is crazy.
I might have 3 phones, one for content, one for Wi-Fi and everything, and then one local.
That's your
phone.
hotspot.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
First of all, I am a hotspot. Don't play with me.
Ain't nobody talking
Come on
about
now.
Fair.
Come on now. Let them know.
Let them know. All
Let
right.
'em know.
I read.
you. Use it in a sentence, please.
I can't. I read. EYERED. I read. What do you think it means?
All right. I'm Ghana. It's hot.
I'm Ghana. Not got me. I'm Ghana.
I definitely got my shirt off. So
Please.
I'm on some fat shit too. Fuck it, man. I read that text.
I read your text when you flashed me. Right? Okay. If someone refers to you as being I read, they're saying that you are greedy or selfish.
Mm-hmm.
I read. I guess you're,
They usually say, what was it? Green with envy, green eyes.
like
The
green,
first
like
thing-
envy. Yeah.
In
yeah,
America,
yeah,
that
yeah.
might be the equivalent.
Yeah.
All right, give me one more.
Okay, one more. All of these are fun.
I like this game.
Feely.
Fuck you mean? Feely. There's a lot of ass in Ghana. I know it is. Yo, that's exactly where my mind goes.
Oh my God. When Ghana's favorite rap duo, Fucking Boy, made a track called Gimme Pinch, it went viral. Feely. Especially in a crowd with people making the pinching gesture to signal, I can't believe I made it. Feely literally means you have to see it with your own eyes. It is usually used when someone wants to relay the fact that something is for real. When you can't believe someone has achieved success and you prefer to investigate, you'd have to do so. Feely.
Yeah, I won. Yeah, I got that right.
That was a good one.
Yeah, I like that.
More or less. You
I
got
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That was fun.
That was fun. I like that.
So let's get into some music shit, right? You, former rapper, selling CDs out the back of the trunk, got your book bag at the locker.
Yeah.
Early scamming.
Where?
Legacy scammer.
Yeah, exactly.
Where are you at with this new J. Cole drop?
Ooh. Yeah.
Oh, hey, all right, listen. I think it has become very cool to hate on Cole. And I think he's a great rapper. I think the track was dope. I think he was rapping his ass off. I think his pen game has improved exponentially, even though he's always been nice. You hear these records he got with Daylight?
Yeah.
He's incredible. I will say, and I like that he gave his comments on the battle and everything. I will say, when he was on Might Delete Later, and I can't remember the name of the record, I think it's I'm Ready, the one with Cam, where he was like, I swear to God, I'm ready for anything. I'm better than anybody. And on that track, on that record, and on Off Season, he has been doing a lot of talk about being the best and about saying, I'm ready for whatever, whoever. You know, what'd he say? He told on the track with Benny, he was like, I might just go to hell if Jesus asked for a feature. Like, so he has been rapping that kind of rap. So to go from that space, to go in a space where you kind of been, you know, kind of poking Kendrick a little bit.
Baiting.
Baiting. Baiting. That's an 8 for in this context. I like
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah. You know, you've been baiting Kendrick all this time. And then you want to say, oh, I didn't jump out the battle.
Thank you.
Because it doesn't really hit for me. It doesn't hit for me.
I mean, isn't that fair though? If it's not necessarily it's more ego based than pen based.
It's not fair. This is hip hop. And I said that shit when he backed out and did the whole I'm cool apology shit. I respect that. Cool. But you can no longer call yourself the greatest rapper alive. You can't talk this Big Willie shit because hip hop is based on, I said this 4 months ago, hip hop is based on competitive bars, right? You can't back out of some shit if you're talking this Big Willie shit on your records and your pen game is nice. But then the opportunity presents itself to battle the other two top motherfuckers in the sport and you back out. Don't act like, so hold on. He said, oh, well, these are my guys, these are my friends. You just met these niggas. You don't really know them. Who gives a fuck?
Somebody you just met him.
Damn. We just met 2 years ago.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, but they're in the same class though, right?
That's fair. So do you think he should? Do you think that instead of bowing out, he should have rapped his way out? So if he didn't like the tone of the beef, did he miss the opportunity to still engage with his pen and not be what it is that he thought the ecosystem was going to be? Does that make sense?
I kind of rock. Yeah, I rock with what you're thinking, Mila, because I was thinking the same thing. I thought when he, I was at Dreamville when he made the speech and apologized. And I was of the mind.
Okay, slight flex.
You know, oh,
yeah, flex.
All right.
Slight work.
Right.
It's me and tens of thousands of other people. But nah, when he gave the speech, it sucked. When we get I'm gonna show you the meme. Not the meme. My producer, she's from North Carolina. She was like you remember that? She was like
like a little kid.
Yes,
like what just happened?
Like what just happened? It sucked the energy out the room. And the only thing I had a problem with was the literal I'm sorry. I could get the, you know what? I take it back, shouldn't have went that far. Something about it and it being so long, it was the I'm sorry that made me feel bad. Like it just wasn't, it didn't hit for me. But to your point, the other thing that is true is that we are in a time, as he talked about in that verse, with bots and gossip rules the day more so than bars in a way. And you can't even it went from let's see who's the best rapper to is Drake a pedophile? Quickly. And Kenny rapped his ass off on the way to calling him a pedophile. But it also just became, and then the other battle that Drake lost with Pusha T was you're hiding a son. And so I could see Cole saying, it ain't even like when Beans and Kiss was rapping, it was, when you listen, it was a lot of real stuff going on, but it was bars and it was street shit happening. It wasn't as gossipy.
Like using gossip and fodder as, a part of your
but it's battle rap.
Yeah, but it's battle. So use whatever you can use, but it just feels different. But yes, it's like even Drake using memes and all that. It was kind of weird how he was playing it.
Y'all think that Cole could have creatively still engaged, stuck with his ethics?
I think Cole showed exactly who he is, right? Let's be clear. Cole is a hooper and that can rap, right? Yeah. He can rap really fucking well.
He did play overseas, right?
Yeah. For Africa, for an African team.
Nice.
In St. John's, whatever. But
in St. John's, yeah.
Cole isn't from the street, right? He grew up without a father, or stepfather, whatever the case may be. He wasn't in the street. He's not a street rapper. He has bars, though. He'll bar you down, right? He will come in a room.
I like how that sounds.
No, he'll come in a room, right? You're not scared of J. Cole when he walks in the room, right? He doesn't have the moxie of a Vice Lord. You know what I'm saying? He just don't. But if you engage him, he can defend himself. I think this battle was just too much for him.
You just described Q-Tip.
Damn.
You described Tribe Called Quest. Like,
right.
All of them, they're unassuming, right?
Like but I think the thing that's refreshing about Cole is that he's never said he was that.
Facts.
And so he said, I got in one scuffle, who would have thought it would have been Puff? He was like, I never really got into fights. And he talks about these things. I think it's kind of detrimental to the culture that we rate somebody's, realness on how street they are, because at the same time, we're going to be upset with what drill music does. When these are the realest rappers, they realer than Tupac, they realer than DMX, they got bodies for real. So all of the real rappers from the
bodies
90s,
and bars.
Yeah, bodies and, yeah. You feel me? So it's like, it's a fine line between using that to rate an MC.
I can see that.
But I will say that once you jump off the porch, when he decided to diss Kendrick,
you gotta stay off the porch.
You gotta stay off the porch. And I think that he didn't really want to.
But that's home base, you can't tag me when I'm back at home base.
This is rap.
That's what it is. It's kind of like, rap. Okay, this is home base, so if you make it back before you get tagged, you're safe.
Then you safe. You feel like he ran back in time?
Yeah, he ran back to home base. Like,
that's what I'm saying. I would have rather he never dropped the record or see it all the way through. But to drop the record, I would have, I like the warning shot aspect of it, but when he started going at dude's discography, he hit him. He punctured his homie. Like, that was actually, and it was his own Achilles heel. People could say everything he said about Kendrick's discography is a lot better than Cole's. I think that's almost. If we're talking about,
Kendrick said, "Whoa."
No, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's break it down.
My name is Bennett, and I ain't in it.
Come on, every album.
Move my mic back for this one.
And Cole is, I love J. Cole. I love Dreamville. I love Cole as a rapper, and I think I relate to him as a person probably. Kendrick's discography, Section 80, phenomenal, complex, rapping at a high level, skits on point. Good Kid, Mad City, phenomenal storyline, storytelling. Then what came after Good Kid? To Pimp a Butterfly?
To Pimp a Butterfly, yes.
To Pimp a Butterfly. A lot of people were lost. I love that. I revisit it frequently. Complex musicianship. You talked about Tip. It's reminiscent of those old Tribe records as far as the jazz loops. And then, again, the skits, the subject matter, down to the album cover. And then what's coming up there? Damn is actually my least favorite album.
The most commercial.
Most commercial. And it won a Pulitzer.
Yeah.
It did.
And then Feel was the song that I listened to on the way to my uncle's funeral. Still hit me on his most commercial album, DNA. Then we got Damn, then what we got after that? Morale and the Big Step is the only one I hate.
Trash.
I did not like that album at all.
Trash.
But now if we do the same thing for J. Cole, go through J. Cole's discography, and you tell me if the projects that Cole made were as important to the lexicon of hip hop as everything we just laid out from King Kendrick.
Call him man a king.
King Kendrick. All right. So, Forest Hill Drive.
That's my favorite Cole album.
Got him crossing his ankles and put his spectacles down.
Phenomenal album.
What was after that? Hold on. Let's see here.
Or prior. You want to go from recent to how you want to do it?
Let's go from Forest Hill Drive on up.
Uh-huh.
Right? My delete later, that was the last shit, but I fuck with that shit. KOD.
KOD. Ass. As far as I'm
Born Center.
D-Soul. Came out on my birthday that year. I have an affinity for that.
So bias.
Bias.
Okay.
Bias.
All right.
Came out same day as Jesus, if I remember.
Facts.
Yeah.
Who else we got?
Good
we got
album.
I think these might have been mixtapes, but we got the off season.
Off season.
Intro was crazy.
That was a cold. For me, that was a mixtape. You know what I'm saying? Even though it was an album, it had the vibe of a mixtape. That was phenomenal.
Right.
Fire. But it was might delete later. Vibe of mixtape. Fire, incredible rapping. Right? And then you got his first album, The Sideline Story. That was him finding himself. You know what I'm saying? So he really said it on Offseason. He even said it in a diss to Kendrick. He was like, I'm still charging up. He's like, I'm still hitting my prime. He's like, I haven't hit my peak yet.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? So I think Cole is getting there. He's still growing, and he's 5 albums in. Friday Night Lights might have been his best project, and that was a mixtape.
Low key.
You know what I'm saying? Forest Hill Drive's Friday Night Lights. But the fact that he's been able to traverse this terrain and build the fan base, the cult fan base that he has, it's phenomenal. But if we're talking
niche.
Discography,
it's very niche, right? And my thing
Kendrick
is,
kills Cole on the discography.
Sometimes you have to either fall back or stand on business. You took the first shot, and it was too hot in the kitchen for you.
Yeah.
And now you back out, which I said 4 months ago. Yeah. That's not hip hop.
That's
right?
not hip hop.
Either stand out there and get killed, or don't say nothing. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And let the people decide.
Yeah.
But he said he was gonna lose a homie if that happened.
They're not homies. Them niggas don't know each other for real. You know what I'm saying?
But he collaborates with a lot of TDE. He been making all these records with Daylight, a TDE guy. When you even at Dreamville backstage, all of the other TDE guys in Dreamville, they are very close. Yeah, so maybe
for the moment. Them ain't your guys though. You know what I'm saying? Your guys is the ones that you ran suicides with.
The
guys that you done fought with. You know what I'm saying? The guys that you done told some of your darkest secrets to. This right? Those are your guys.
Going back to y'all question, and I don't mean the detours, we can come back if we need to, but how do y'all navigate that too in this industry where friendship and the whole, and Drake found that out too. He was super cool with all the people that started dissing him. At one point, they were all friends, but they're really coworkers.
They're colleagues. Right? They're peer mentors sometimes.
Exactly. And so I get what you're saying, because was Cole and Kendrick really friends because they came out at the same time? Does Kendrick see Cole as a friend? But and I feel like I deal with that sometimes in media. There are a lot of people that I consider friends in the loose sense of the term. But if we're going for the same job, do they consider me a friend? Will they speak highly of me in that room? I speak highly of people in rooms they're not in, and later find out they don't do the same.
Yeah.
You know, and so
that's why I don't do that.
Yeah, you're right.
Self-preservation. I just don't speak negatively about anyone.
Right. Just keep it neutral.
Yeah, if I see you, it's love. You know what I'm saying? And if we have graduated to a point where I can have a conversation with you, I'm still discerning how much I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Right? Because I don't know you, fam.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if you're going to use this to your advantage or against me.
Yeah, I've definitely learned to shut up, keep opinions about people to myself, unless I need somebody but it makes sense to put somebody on.
Yeah.
You know, and it's always good to be the plug.
Yes.
Right. When you hear somebody's problem, you're like, you know what? I think this would be a good connect for you.
Yeah.
And then you kind of bless that relationship and release. I do know that there are a lot of people that don't want to see us win. Mm-hmm. You know, they don't want to see you continuously moving up. They don't want to see you being invited to be on stage. They don't want to read your stuff. They want you to beg.
Yeah.
And
I beg.
Yeah,
I
beg of you, please make a connection, please.
Book
and that's just weird to
your point,
me.
right? So that's why it's important to be the first to get there. So now I can decide who I bring with me because I think they have talent, rather than waiting on someone to say, "Yeah, I fuck with them." but you're not my homie.
Yeah.
Right?
See.
You know what I'm saying?
But see, that's when the gatekeeping conversation comes in, right?
Facts.
Because then folks are like, it's my thing is the thing that I've had to work through is not letting the industry change my natural disposition. Like my natural thing is if somebody brings up somebody I know, even peripherally, and I have an opportunity to say something positive, I'm gonna say that.
Right.
And the downside is you sound crazy if that person is saying the same to you or they're indifferent about you. But I don't want to change who I am in my core.
Because of Buddy.
Because of Buddy ass. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to assume that my karma isn't going to come, my good karma isn't going to come from Buddy. It's going to come from somebody else.
Right.
Because usually it's the people you don't know that well.
Facts.
That put you on.
Yeah. And it's people that say your name that got a bad reputation. Like, keep my name out your mouth. That's what you also don't know. Like, I'm cool that you didn't say anything about me because people will not know that you know me and that we're close. So put your line in.
I kind of don't want niggas to
your
know I fuck
line
with you like
lips.
that.
Right?
No, you're spot on. You know what I'm saying? But then I can say, well, shit, my name being brought up, good or bad, is a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Right? I've had people fucking contact me and said, look, I heard you're the guy. Mm-hmm. I've had other people say, I didn't even know that you did this. You know what I'm saying? And I know that you do, right?
Yeah.
So it's weird. So my thing is just like tunnel vision, keep fucking moving. What is for me will be for me. It's just that fucking simple. I'm going to always put out what I consider the best product. I'm going to keep good people around me, right? Yeah. Who I can trust, who I consider a friend or a sister, right? And we're going to move accordingly.
Yeah.
And within that, we can beef and battle all that, but can't nobody else come in our circle.
There's something to what you said too. Is like not being in the conversation. There's nothing worse than like not even being thought of when you're making work in that space and you know you've been advocating in a certain space and people just, I'd rather you have in some regard, I'd rather you have a negative opinion about something I've done rather than just act like it didn't exist.
Yeah, I love my city and I want to create opportunities in it. And I realize that there are some people that want to extract the resources from the crib because they want to feel bigger. Like this city is so magical. Mm-hmm. Like being a global city and having the opportunity to connect with Fortune 500 companies, Fortune 100 companies, top nonprofits, right? Like people have their eyes on us. Like everything in Black America moves through Black Chicago. And that's a wild spot to hold. And if you don't realize what you have and being able to create and curate and show this is how you can be a community, then I don't know what we're gonna be able to do.
And that's why I mentioned the other festival, because what you brought up was so key, is that there's so much power in an ecosystem. Mm-hmm. And so like when you even talking about Silver Room Block Party and High Park Summerfest in community with each other, those conversations made each of those festivals bigger. Mm-hmm. So how do we uplift the women who are doing these festivals and talk about everything separately as well? But this ecosystem of, I'm thinking about all of the brands that are missing opportunities that are geared toward Black women that I don't know if I won't name brands, but I'm like, I wonder if they've been sponsors of the festival or the other one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's a missed opportunity. That's why I love that it keep going. And the ecosystem, when it builds, that's why, going back to the conversation of gatekeeping, what people don't realize is when you're the only person in a particular space, it feels good to that person, right? When you're the only person in that space. But what happens is you have nobody to lean on.
Yeah.
When you collapse, the industry collapses. So you have nothing to fill that gap. We see it with women rap right now. Glorilla is so hard right now because there's so many options, and now everybody's tuning in. I was at a club the other day, and unironically, the DJ did like a 45-minute set, and it was all women rappers. It wasn't like it was women rap night. It wasn't no theme. It was just all of the hottest music right now, and it was Lotto, Glow, Sexy Red record came on,
Mama,
Cardi Mary
Big Mama.
Come on,
I love it when you call me Big Mama. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. But when it was,
if a nigga in the club talking about, I'm at the bar, nigga. Turn this shit off.
I ain't gonna lie, Glow got a couple lines that had me like, I'm like, get him, Glow.
That shit is hard. That shit is hard.
I'm telling you. So like that ecosystem makes everybody bigger.
Hey man, she said I'm showing off my moose knuckle. I was like,
Where is Jadakiss when I need her? I need him on that joint.
Who Kiss?
Yeah, I need Kiss on that joint. That shit go hard.
Crazy.
Oh my God.
Can we move on to Bath and Body Works. Did y'all see this shit?
I felt so bad for that little candle.
So Bath and Body Works released a candle. Here, just take a look at that. Here,
It was a
you can pass the
doily,
phone.
and they cut it into, and
no.
I feel like anything white and edgy with a hole in it,
No,
it's gonna
that's
look
intentional.
like
That
I don't
is
think it was
intentional.
intentional.
Kels, look, this is not the first time that this has happened.
I don't believe it was intentional.
Bath and Body Works has done a KKK candle before.
Not Bath and Body Works, but other companies have.
Balenciaga had it.
They didn't have that
Adidas
consultant
did.
you talked about.
Facts.
Adidas did the chain on the shoe.
Shoes were hot.
Thought that was okay. It's not. Right?
The
Big
shoes were
brands
hot.
do this shit all the time.
Yeah.
And this is for me, when I see shit like this, it's them letting us know that they haven't forgot. They do this shit all the time. And then what they'll do is they'll come out, oh no, we apologize.
Can't two things be true?
No, hell no, because in the DEI
What does that even stand
world
for?
that we live in, diversity, equity, and inclusion, right?
It was a coffee
have
filter.
you have people on the board that
He in your inbox.
Right, I'm gonna be deep.
that sit and listen to this
Who's
shit.
Keisha? No,
You know what I'm saying? Give me one motherfucking phone.
no.
You have people that sit as the token black guy to say, "Is this okay?"
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So before this comes out, you mean tell me it's a black motherfucker sit there and let this shit slide?
So when I saw the candle, I first I kind of giggled because I was like, oh man, doilies and coffee filters cannot run away from being associated with KKK.
And then it's called snowed in. Come on, man.
I mean,
What is snow?
but that
What?
so
What are we doing?
Oh my God.
Kels, I'm not gonna let you do this. Please
So
don't do
they
it
tried
today.
to make it into a snowflake, right? Like that was a poor.
What's a snowflake?
poorly-
A bunny?
Oh my God.
Huh? Huh?
Hey. It's, the fact that you can make anything racist is hilarious right now.
That was pretty easy to make that one.
Well,
racist. But I'm gonna say this though, a counterpoint. Even though I agree with everything, I was swiping through because as you look at the other snowflake designs and stuff, I think we underestimate how much. Okay, so with companies in DEI, right? A lot of black folks are in these seats. They're not empowered. They're not empowered to speak up. We saw a big decline in DEI executives being fired right after George Floyd. There was an uptick in all these VPs of DEI and companies were focusing in.
Yeah.
When they didn't, they quietly let go of these departments. They quietly let go of marketing departments that were specifically focused on multicultural marketing. And so you lost all these smart minds that could tell you that looks weird. That being said, companies are a little dumber than sometimes we think.
Thank you.
There are graphic designers who send key art for certain things and don't run it past the brilliant people that they have at their disposal because they're like, oh, it's so much red tape. It's just an image.
Are these white graphic designers?
Well, that's the fact.
It
That's
could
the
be.
truth. It
Okay,
is.
so let's call a spade a spade.
I mean,
It
but
is,
it
it's true,
doesn't.
it
This
could be.
this person could be just a non-black person.
It could be a non-black
So
person.
the thing is, like, it could be any other ethnic group, but not a black person.
And one of those people that deem themselves colorblind, right? They think that we see, just like you broke it down, they think we see everything through race. And you have to. You know what I'm saying? We aren't afforded in this country opportunity to do anything else.
Yeah.
So you're gonna see it that way. And so since they're colorblind, they're missing all of the nuances.
Yeah, the nuance,
So sometimes I feel like we be thinking that there's an agenda, and the agenda is in the fact that there aren't enough black people in these spaces.
Yeah.
That is the agenda. But also, companies just be dumb. Like it'd be a lot of as you being at, not speaking about the company I work with, but working and consulting with different groups.
Let's be clear.
You see, let's be clear. They're great.
I mean, and then some entrepreneurs also.
But you start seeing how decisions get made, and you be like, if I didn't catch that,
Then we would be in a whole lot of PR problems.
And
Does intention count?
Attention?
Intention.
Intention. Hell yeah, it counts.
What did they say it was supposed to be?
what is that?
Because there might have to be like
Well, I
snowed
saw
in
that
and
it's so funny. They
snowflake.
apologize and say, even if that wasn't our intention. It's funny when you said
Yeah.
intention counts. Because on some level, when it comes to the offense, maybe attention doesn't count. Like if I don't care what you intended to do.
Yeah,
this
this
is
is
how
the
it made
visual
me
that
feel.
was
That's
out.
because white folks have not been on the other side of racism,
Yeah.
right? So they can't see this. If we as a black community have seen the stories of the KKK, right? And this shit has been embedded in your mind because you've watched documentaries, you've read, you've seen the imagery. When I see this is all I see.
Mine doesn't go anywhere
else.
Yeah.
It
it just pops out at you. It's
Oh,
true.
mine definitely didn't go immediately to
It didn't?
KKK.
Okay.
It didn't.
Where'd your mind go?
Snowflake.
Off of this?
Yeah.
When we first
Snowflake.
started imaging
That don't like no
context.
fucking snowflake.
Well, the
either.
name. So again, context clues, right?
That's a double whammy. You got the hood and snowflake.
Name of the candle, and it's Bath and Body Works. So I have a relationship with this brand. I'm not going to assume the first thing is KKK. I'm not saying that it doesn't look like it. I'm saying for me, because I have a relationship with the brand, I'm looking at it, the context of it, like, oh, this is supposed to be a snowflake. It is a poor snowflake when you put it next to a KKK hood that it is actually almost the exact same shape, right? Which
have you been in arts and crafts before?
I have.
And have you ever drawn a snowflake that looks like this?
Yeah. I've
Lies.
definitely drawn snowflakes.
Fucking lies, Kels.
I mean, so with a coffee filter and you cut it out, that is how a snowflake looks. You take a coffee filter and you fold it into multiple
look
and
like
you
a
cut
fucking octagon, not like
And
the
you put
fucking hood of
holes
the
in it.
KKK.
Look it up.
I'm telling
Look
you what
up.
I've done.
Okay, so here's my challenge. Go to Pinterest and find snowflake coffee filters and look to see how many of them look like KKK hoods.
Bet. Let's do it right now.
Can I just say I love this podcast?
Challenge.
My coffee filters are the gods.
My coffee filters aren't racist. You can turn any coffee filter into a KKK hood.
All right, so we said snowflake drawings. What
No,
is
so
it?
like coffee filter. What you call it? I'm just saying that you can
No.
find.
I want you to die on this hill alone.
No, what? I'm just saying, like you could cut
Even
a
if I
coffee
put in
filter.
snowflake drawings.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Hey, guess what?
Which your Wi-Fi went out?
He's hiring. No, real shit.
I did ask him if he needed a head up in his sway. Yeah.
None, and I'm gonna put this shit on the screen. None of snowflakes. When you put in snowflake drawings,
I didn't say drawings. I said with a coffee filter.
Okay,
when you can cut a coffee filter and it can look like anything. That's all I'm saying.
snowflakes with a coffee
And I know
filter.
if you put this into a reel, people gonna be like, and she wearing white. Like, look, like, I totally get it. And all of our companies could, do a little more DEI.
This was intentional. We're not doing that.
You say it was intentional.
Because I live in a real fucking world.
Okay, all right.
That shit, look.
I don't think it was intentional.
I don't think it was intentional.
Y'all crazy in the morning.
You know what I think it was, though? I think the intention comes from the lack of black people in those spaces. So in that way, it's intentional to disregard us and not think that we're shopping and patronizing these businesses in that way. But I don't think that they purposely was like,
why would they want
to F with these people?
And we're right up against the holiday season.
I don't think
and they want to put everything on clearance. Like, no, I don't think that somebody would make a business decision.
I also don't know about them too, though. Let's Google their CEOs. Their CEOs,
are they? So okay, that's fair.
Are they
and like,
a
who
Trump
they?
supporter or something?
Let's say y'all are black. Y'all work at the candle company, and the ad comes out. What are you saying? Are you saying something? Are you not saying anything?
Saying to the company or to the public?
Period. Like you wear it proudly that you are,
You use that as an opportunity.
Yep.
I'd use that as an opportunity to go in that and like, that's why I need to be in these rooms and be in these decisions.
Leverage.
You have leverage. Use that as leverage. Absolutely. I've done that before.
Pro tip. So before you just completely quit your job, black people, because your company does something weird. I mean, there are times where I think we should walk away, but I think there are times where we should dig our heels in and say, hey, this cost y'all $30 million.
Yeah.
Right? You could give me an additional $75,000 and I can protect your assets.
And I can protect you from it. Yeah, exactly.
Not for 75,
I'm just saying.
250. Yeah. 250.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And a little bit of more PTO, and I got you.
Exactly. No, it's true.
Before we get out of here, I'm very interested to know best and worst interviews that you have had.
Have had, or has he completed, like interviewing other people?
Interviewing other people.
Oh, okay.
And call the fucking name. Let's keep it. If
you so messy.
Messy 7. Let me Google it. Hold on,
he gonna tag their ass. Like,
shit. They know when they corny, man. They know when they corny. Like, fuck. I may be cornering somebody. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Really, yeah, not likely, but it can happen.
You know what I'm saying?
Shit. After a few, shit could get a little weird.
Worst interview was 21 Pilots. Okay, so they're a rock band. They've got this thing.
I see how you went full left, so the audience. That was good.
You changed everybody's algorithm with that little seed.
Okay, go ahead. I'm with you.
I also want to let people know the breadth of interviews I do. You know what I'm saying? My culture,
Dope.
I love when I talk to the culture, but I'm at MTV. There's a lot of pop and rock interviews. But this, I'm swear to God, worst interview I had that I'm thinking of right now. Maybe it was something worse. But it's backstage VMAs or whatever. We're interviewing, and they were determined to assume that I hadn't done my research or that I wasn't in tune with them. And it felt, I ain't gotta be.
It felt snowy.
It felt snowy.
Yeah.
It felt like
what does that even mean?
A tinge of
305.
It felt a tinge of snowiness because so what happened? So we're talking and they tried to give one-word answers, and it wasn't until I asked a question. There was some obscure, and I had great producers at the time that helped me with these particular questions for this band. There was this obscure fan fiction saga that they had been doing, like this Easter egg that they had been putting in their music. And they were like these Reddit threads trying to figure out what a lyric meant.
Okay.
And I asked about this really obscure lyric. Yo, y'all have been talking about this in your music, and all of your fans want to know what this is. And they kind of finally looked at each other and was like,
he knows.
You for real?
Yeah.
Oh, you for real? And now you want to tap in and give me the energy. But this is it's only like an 8-minute interview. This is, 5 minutes in. I'm checked out because now I'm trying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm pulling. Lil Yachty gave me a bad interview too. But so that was probably my worst interview, and I think it really came from just, I don't know why.
They thought she was the DEI hire.
But but then I looked online, and there was this thread of 21 Pilots, it's like 21 Pilots totally shitting on interviewers, and so I guess they have like a thing where they're really like cynical and kind of. And
that's their brand.
But it's so contrived, and I didn't deserve that. I studied more than I listened to a lot of this ass music. Now they got a couple songs I like, but I really was in tune with them.
You got to do the homework.
And I respect.
Do you want to be treated like all the other journalists, or do you want special treatment?
What you mean? Oh, right,
exactly, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And again, not to be combative, but when we talk about being present in the room and wanting people to take us seriously, what you just said right there, it's kind of what they do. Had they done something different, would you have felt so you were trying to treat me like a DEI hire versus this is what y'all do to everybody?
I want you, as an interviewee with media training, just like with humans, you give people the energy they deserve. Mm-hmm. And you match energy. And I did my research, and I'm platforming you. As you're about to go and perform on this stage, I am doing you and your brand. I get paid whether or not you agree to this interview.
Right.
You don't have to be, just the same as I'm here. Y'all did not have to allow me on this platform. I'm going to give you every thought I have because I'm grateful to be here. So I'm like, why would you if you don't want to do it, don't
His
do
head
it.
just got big. He will not be able to get out of the front door.
Oh, no. I'm going to clip that. That's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way.
I mean it, man, because I don't just say everybody can be here. I don't go everywhere.
You better be careful. Your voice going to end up doing drops on Corner Convo.
All right, so Yachty gave Joe Budden a bad interview.
What is a bad interview? What does that mean, though, with Yachty?
All right, so I'll give you an example. I had a moment with Twista, right? I love Twista. Don't know if it was a bad day for him. Mm-hmm. Don't know if he was tired, whatever, right? But the one-word answer shit is ridiculous. All right, fam, I'll catch you next time, right? You don't have to do that. Then you have people where you literally have to pull everything that you get out of that. So you have to be prepared for that. And that's why I don't like the term interview. And me and her went back and forth. I built this to say, let's have a conversation, because I feel like the only way to get to know someone is to have a conversation. Yeah. If you're comfortable, you're going to tell the world whatever it is you're feeling because you're comfortable in the space. It's safe. But if I have 10 questions lined up and based on your answers, I'm going to jump from 2 to 5 to 3 to 4, right? That's corny to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I keep it running the show, but at the end of the day, let's have a conversation. And whatever comes out of that, that's the sauce. That's the magic.
I can see
In
that.
my
Like,
opinion.
I will say written interviews are tough in that I learned when I'm doing an interview, when I'm being interviewed for print, to be concise and say only exactly what I want to say.
mhm.
Because I've given print interviews before where I fully explained something, and the quote that the journalist was drawn to, because they couldn't take my whole 3-minute answer, they only needed 2 sentences. They picked the 2 wrong sentences. I'm not even on purpose.
Out of context.
They weren't trying to do a hit story on me. I was just like, it was so much more profound when I said it. Why did they latch on to that?
Yeah.
You know,
they took the stuffing and left the cookies. Like, what?
Yeah,
And I hate
exactly.
Oreo stuffing.
So you in your position, shout out to Pod Media, man. I love what they're doing over there. My girl from BET, Roxy, right? She just started a pod over there.
Okay.
Would you want to do a pod where you sit down and ask the questions that you want to ask without MTV's influence?
I got another podcast project I'm working on that's on that. It's more of a show than it is a podcast.
Okay.
It's coming out soon. It's called Chestnut Checkers. But I love that. But the great thing about MTV, though, to be honest, they don't really get in my way as far as interviews go. But they don't really get in my way as far as interviews go. It's only been a few times where I wanted to ask something that, for what we were trying to do in the relationship with the artist, it wasn't pushing the whole thing forward. I'm trying to talk around it, but it ain't working.
Yeah, let's
So I
get to
just
it,
said-
man. This is the corner.
Yeah, when Doja Cat had her Feud and Racist chat rooms, I was interviewing around that time a couple years ago, and I wanted to ask her about it. And, I had a talk with my editorial director at the time. I'm like, yo, this is what I'm going to ask. Like, this is what people are talking about. This is what... He was like, okay. He was like, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But in service of future opportunities to talk to her about her music, and as good as her music is now, which I think she's one of the illest female rappers right now, that Scarlet Project is fire, and I don't think people talk about it enough. He was like, in service of her music and in service of the show that we have coming up next, does the benefit of this question in this moment outweigh the long game? And for the amount of time that you have to speak to her, are you going to get the best out of her in that moment for that answer? And I'm like, you know what? If I had her for an hour, I would. I don't. Not worth it.
and
Got
that's
it.
chess, not
Got it.
checkers.
That's yeah.
And that's what it is.
You see her
I
working?
need that drop.
You see her
I need
working?
that drop.
I got you.
You
I
know.
got you.
So I don't
Consultant
really-
fee.
That's it. Come on. I owe you.
A
Okay.
bag.
Yeah, you got me. You got me. Okay. We doing a show together. Damn. I'm taking up mine. I'm sorry, man.
All right,
You
just know where the house that it came from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just want to see my people, you know what I mean?
Home
Survive.
base, yeah.
Survive and thrive.
And thrive.
You know what I'm saying?
But I'll tell you that the next day she did an interview with Fat Joe on his live, and they talked about it. And I was like, and
Right.
it went viral.
Right.
But there's a different relationship, different people.
Do you find yourself, or have you built relationships with different artists where it's like, okay, they respect you as a cool motherfucker outside of when the camera's shut off? Like, oh yeah, let me call him Pongo. You know what I'm saying? Whatever.
Yeah. There's a couple artists like that. Yeah, it's a couple artists like that. It's funny. I was about to go into that thing about friends, what we talked about earlier, but sometimes you really do desire some semblance of a friendship because you really respect these folks. But at the end of the day, we are both doing services to for one another.
just good people. It's good to like work with people that you would want to hang out
That you
with,
would
but it's
wanna
not
hang
out.
necessary
But
that
it don't
you
mean
do.
that we should hang out.
Yeah, and when
actually.
like it is nice when people like pull up. I'm having something at the crib. Like anytime somebody invites me to their crib, like that for me is like like you trust me in your home,
Yes.
or I meet your children, or you introduce me to your to your significant other when you see me. Those things let me know like okay, like I know that I'm in the circle, but I don't necessarily have to be like super close.
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But on some level, you gotta keep an objective level of distance.
Yes.
So I gotta be able, if that album is
If it's
if the
ass,
album is ass, I got to be able to say that, and he can't be like, you were just at my house, you don't call,
at the crib.
I might give you a courtesy text like, I'm about to shit on your album. I'm sorry,
Yeah, but I mean, if we fake friends, then I didn't heard the album,
crazy.
right? So to that point, shout out to Fillmore Green, man. His new project, the full length, drops. The grand design drops October 25th.
Okay.
Shit is fire.
Shout out to Phil.
You know what I'm saying? Shit is fire. And I'm not a bullshit motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, I will tell a motherfucker, this one ain't it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not doing you a service as an artist.
Wait.
And you the homie.
All right, so he's featured on the album, right?
Yeah, several times.
Come on now.
Major release.
Right. I knew he threw me a loop, so I had to
I smell
my
some
little layup.
bias.
Yeah.
It's fire.
So here's my question: If the tracks were booty,
fam, don't put me on camera, fam. This is that simple. Like,
you wouldn't be claiming it at all.
Nah.
He tagging you with everything.
No repost.
Damn.
Hey man, shout out to Apollo, man. Shout out to Rashi ID.
Oh, we had such a good time. Thank you so much for the invitation to rock on the spinner then and listen to the tracks and move around the city. So Fillmore had a listening session and picked us up. We riding through the city. He's explaining the tracks and we're vibing in the sprinter. It was probably one of the dopest experiences of listening
real
to
Chicago
music.
shit. Big stupid ass van, big 24s, big music, right? And you just ride around, you listen to shit. And that's so Chicago. Mm-hmm. And no one that I know of has done that before. So it was dope.
That's fine.
And look, the album, I don't give a lot of classic reviews out here.
He got a track on there, Chicago.
Yeah.
And it's out now?
The 25th.
There are some tracks.
He dropped the EP. It's a 5-song EP.
Okay.
But the 25th is the whole joint.
Why do rappers do that? Like,
what's
what's the science behind that? So you like tease us a little bit, and then like it's a rollout process.
Yeah, it's a rollout.
And I think it's a rollout. But I do think that people are inundated with so much content. So I think maybe artists feel like they have to just. I give you all of these tracks at once, you might not receive each song. Even for Big Sean's album, I think his album, people shitting on it.
Love it.
But I like it too.
It is what it is.
I don't know why a lot of people would, but I did think it was a little long though, because by the time I got to track 15 or something like that.
I was tired of being in love. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, fam, I get it.
I get it. Jeezy have like an album like 25 tracks last season?
Yeah.
Like, it was like 25, 27
it's
songs.
too much.
What's the average number of songs y'all could thug it out on?
Give me
10
10 of your
12.
best.
Give me 12.
12 too.
10, 12.
10 to 12
Is that
of your
skits
best.
included?
Yeah.
Skits included, I'll go for 14.
Okay. All right. I do love a good interlude.
Yeah, I like a good interlude. Yeah. And don't slap it on the back of a song because I got this on the playlist and you messing up my flow.
Right.
Alexa, skip.
Right. Messed up the whole song. You got this 1 minute intro.
Love it.
Tell people where they can get in tune with the story of Candyman. I don't think we talked enough about it, low key. We can get into it.
What I love about it is it's about, if you buy into the person, then you'll buy into their work. And you said so much greatness about the quality of my work that's timeless. So this is one project in an era of time that'll be out there and people can check it out. But this interview will last for a long time.
No,
so I don't need to
not an interview. It's a conversation.
This conversation will last for a long.
Yeah.
This corner convo, if you will.
Will
last for a time. So we ain't got to go in detail about Candyman, but Candyman, the true story behind the bathroom mirror murder, breaks down the true story behind what partially inspired the movie Candyman, which y'all know Candyman was in Chicago, basic Cabrini Green. You say his name in a mirror 5 times and he pops up to kill you. What ended up happening was a woman by the name of Ruthie Mae McCoy, Black woman living in Abbott Homes, a different project building. Killers actually came in through her medicine cabinet and killed her. The director later on, as he was working on the story, found out about this. The problem with the medicine cabinet issue, it was an issue of the Chicago Housing Authority not repairing these apartments so that people could get into the medicine cabinet. It took them 2 to 3 days to get her body. It's a story about inequity. It's a story about crime. It's a story about the film itself, how it gets made, and the erasure of our stories, because I hadn't known her name until I started doing the show. And so it's an interesting podcast in terms of like conventional true crime, but also for fans of like just culture and these Easter eggs and how did some of these things that we consider cult classics, how they came to be. it'll be really interesting to you. Oh, wait. Let me pop I got to brag real quick because
sure.
I'm very proud of this. We debuted in the top 10 shows across all spots.
I saw that.
Apple Podcasts.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's get the claps.
Come on down.
Let's get the claps.
Yeah.
Let's get the motherfucking claps.
Number 4 in true crime, number 2 series on the platform. So it's insanely successful, and that's a credit to the CBS News and 48 Hours team too, because
I like CBS.
They already do great storytelling, and people know what to expect. So I'm glad that they came and stayed.
And to that point, man, you can have great content, but you need distribution. Yeah. So figure it out, people.
Shots fired at
I'm
CBS.
just throwing it out there. You know what I'm saying? This is
Micro-influencers matter.
220, man. Y'all go check out that Candyman joint. This shit is fire. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Does that count as 3 times that we've said it as a mirror right there?
Whoa, that's crazy.
Oh,
all right. All right.
Oh, man, it was good seeing y'all, man. You know, thank you for having me, gang.
We are downtrodden.
It would only take you to peep that shit.